Hi guys, and welcome to this other video. Hope you guys are doing well. So today in this our practical NSE certification series of videos, today we are going to talk about FortiGate security profiles. So in this video, these are going to be the objective that we are going to cover on this video. So we'll talk about the security profile, what they are, how they function, how they work. We'll talk about different types of security profile. We'll talk about key concepts and features. We'll also talk about traffic direction, so inbound traffic versus outbound. We'll show and experiment some applicable actions. Then we'll finish as usual with practical cases. So talking about practical cases, so at the end of this video, we should be able to, I would like us to proceed with the following 7 tasks. So we'll probably do more than 7 tasks, but these are the 7 that I would like us to cover so far at the end of this video. So in task 1, we're going to talk about security profile. So we'll examine each security profile action, as you can see listed here in task 1. Task 2, we'll talk about antivirus. We'll see how to download a test malware file. We'll see how to block email that is sent with a .exe file as an attachment. So we'll see that. So we'll talk also about task 3, which is web content filtering. So we'll see how to block specific category of any web category. We'll see how to block a website. We'll see how to block a specific search content on your network. Task 4 will be application control. Same as web content, we'll try to do some blocking on some specific categories and application. We'll also do video filtering, where we'll see how to block some specific video category, see how to block a YouTube channel, block some actions on videos. So we'll see how, for example, you can let your user access some videos, but you can block some specific actions, like you can prevent them from downloading the video, can prevent them from posting a comment on a video, or so many other actions. We'll see how to do that in task 5. In task 6, we'll see DNS and file filtering. So here we'll see how to block a specific file extension on your network. So like maybe you don't want users on your network to download ISO or archive file or .exe file. We'll see how to block this. I'll also see how to redirect DNS traffic to company block portal. So maybe you want to block some specific website on your network, and you want to redirect users to the company blog portal, where maybe you explain to them why the website or the content is being blocked by the company. So we'll see how to redirect those traffic to a company owned created blog portal. So at the 7, we'll see how we understand the different filter types. So sometimes people want to block a specific website, but they don't want to block, like, let's say you want to block something like facebook.com, but you don't want to block facebook.com slash access to any other content, you see. Or maybe you want to block facebook.com, but you don't want to block anything that comes after facebook.com. So we'll see the difference between blocking a simple expression, or blocking a regular expression, or blocking a wildcard content. So we'll see that at the end of this video. So before we jump into these activities, I would like to take a few minutes to explain some key concepts regarding FortiGate security profiles. So what are security profiles? We said security profile provides granular content level inspection, as you can see, so that we can control traffic that is allowed by a FortiGate policy, depending on the operating mode. So see on this image here, we define security profile on a FortiGate firewall policy. So when you create a firewall policy, that is where you decide which security profile you want to add on the security on the firewall policy to enhance or provide some granular content level inspection, depending on what you want to inspect. So what we need to know here is that the security profiles there are available depending on the inspection mode that you select here. So by default on the FortiGate firewall policies, by default we are always on the flow-based inspection mode. So when you are on this mode, there are some security profile that you will not see. For example, like video filtering are available only when you are on the proxy base. So you need to pay attention to that when you are creating firewall policies. So also what you need to understand here is that the granularity of the inspection that will be done depends on the SSL inspection method that you select here. So here are some types of security profile that are available on the FortiGate firewall. So we'll not go in deep on this. So you know we have antivirus for anything that is related to malware on HTTP and FTP, and also email to control if there is any malware. We also have web filtering to block and monitor websites, application control to control anything related to application on your network, We also have IPS to scan traffic for malicious pattern or non-vulnerability before it is exploited on your network. We saw in the previous video SSL and SSH inspection. So this SSL SSH inspection inspect encrypted traffic to prevent threats that are hidden in SSL TLS tunnel. So we saw this in the previous video. See the link in the description of this one. We also talk about there is also DNS filtering, about DNS, file filtering, as we said, to block some extension, file extension, exe, PDF, and so on. DLP, data loss prevention, to monitor and filter sensitive data from leaving your network. And we also have email filter. So these are some common types of security profiles that are available on FortiGate devices. So we'll see this we'll see more details about this in the practical section. So as we said, the FortiGate security profiles work both in inbound and outbound. So when you decide to select one of the security profiles, you need to know or understand how it is impacting your inbound traffic and how it is impacting also the outbound traffic. So for some of the security profiles here, you can see the description regarding inbound and outbound traffic. So you see there are some of the security profiles that do not apply on inbound traffic. Most of the time it does not apply on inbound traffic. For example, you have antivirus that applies both on inbound. For the inbound, it protects external resources from malware and FTP upload. Therefore, outbound, it scans requested user traffic for malware. So antivirus work both for inbound and outbound. Whereas web, video, and DNS filter, they don't work on inbound, but mostly on outbound traffic. You also have application that works on both. You have intrusion prevention and many more others who works both on inbound and outbound traffic. So I'll let you guys read this. So if you want to have a better understanding of how each security profile works both on inbound traffic and outbound traffic. So here we'll talk also about applicable action. So as we said, the security profiles are there to provide a granular inspection of your network. So each time that there is a match on a specific traffic that you are monitoring, you can apply one of the following actions. So remember, these actions are not available for each type of security profile. So there are some actions here that you will see on web filtering that are not available on video filtering, or which are not available on another profile. So depending on the selected security profile, you will see the corresponding, you will see some actions that are available for that specific profile. So here we have allow, monitor, block, authenticate, quarantine, exempt, alert, warning, and redirect to block portal. So most of these we'll see. So a quick explanation about these applicable actions is allow will let you access a website without logging the traffic. So this is what allow mean. Monitor here is that monitor, when you select the action of monitor, it will allow the traffic, but it will record the logs of the traffic in your FortiGate. So if you want, for example, you want users to have access to a specific website, but you want to know when was that website accessed by your users for maybe for some internal purposes that you want, you let them access the website, but you still record the information on the traffic, regarding the traffic, so that internally you can use it maybe to get some statistics about the usage of that website. But when you are doing allowed action, your FortiGate will not record the logs, so you don't have logs about what have been allowed. Block mean block. So if you block a website, user will not have access to it, and this will be recorded as well. Authenticate here means if you want to let user access a website, you would like them to provide some information, so authentication information like a username and password before you grant access to the website. We'll see this in practicals. Quarantine, most of the time we work with antivirus. So if you see antivirus on some other web filtering or some other security profile where you need to quarantine some specific threat, if you see a content or some file that you don't trust, for example, you might decide to quarantine. So exempt here means, for example, if you decide to exempt a specific website, it means the website will be allowed, but only will not be allowed, but it will also be exempted from the other security profiles. So let me explain a key difference between allow, monitor, and exempt. Allow here, if you allow a website, it means for example, let's say you create the firewall policy on which you apply antivirus profile, web filtering profile, and application control profile. Let's say you apply those three security profiles on them. So on the web filtering, you decide, for example, to allow a specific website, action for that website is allowed. So you allow it on the web filtering. So for that web filtering, the website will be allowed, but the control regarding antivirus and application control will still apply on that website. So you only allow the allow action will only apply regarding the web filtering security profile. The difference then between allow and exempt is that for when you say exempt, let's say if you take the same website and you decide to exempt it on the web filtering profile, if antivirus profile is applied and also application control is applied, once you decide that the website is being exempted, it means the website will not also be controlled or be inspected by the antivirus and the controlled by the antivirus and the application control security profiles. So when you decide to exempt a website, the website is being exempted from all the other security profiles. Why, when you decide to simply say allow, when you say allow, it is allowed only on that specific security profile. The traffic regarding that website on the other security profile like antivirus check, web application control or video will still apply on that specific website. So that's the main difference between allow and exempt. We also have alerts. Alert mean okay, you are sending just an alert to the administrator to notify them that okay, this website was accessed by your users. Warning is when you want to provide a warning message to your users when they're accessing some specific websites. You just provide them a warning with the warning message explaining why you don't want them to access the website, but you can still let them access it even though you are providing them a warning. And the last one here will be redirect to a block portal. So as we said, you can redirect, you can either provide a warning, then still let the user access the website, or you can redirect them directly to a block portal where you will specify a message explaining to them why the website is being blocked. So you can either redirect it to the FortiGate default block portal, or you can customize your own block portal and redirect your users directly to that portal. We'll see this in the practical session. So some key concepts regarding FortiGate security profiles are that when you are configuring security profile, you need to pay attention on, as we said in the previous slide, inspection mode. So the inspection mode, which is different from the inspection methods here. Inspection mode, you have proxy mode and flow-based mode. We'll go more in details about this inspection mode in another video, but just to give a little overview of it. In the proxy mode provides more throughout and in-depth inspection, whereas flow-based mode is designed for highly performance and throughput. So if I go a little bit behind here, you will see that here concerning the inspection mode on this image, you see inspection mode, as I said, by default on each FortiGate security policy that you create, by default we are usually on the flow-based, because the flow-based is like when you are inspecting traffic, we inspect the traffic as it comes as it enters the FortiGate firewall. So as it is coming in, it is immediately being inspected. While in proxy mode, the FortiGate will collect all the traffic before performing the inspection. So all the traffic will be buffered until from the first data to the last. Then the inspection will be done on all the traffic before action will be taken, whether it is allow, block, or quarantine. While in the flow-based mode, as traffic enters, it is inspected as it is coming in. So that's the main difference between the two inspection methods. So you need to select the appropriate method depending on the security level that you want to provide on your network. Also pay in consideration that when you are in proxy mode, your firewall will require more resources to provide this type of traffic, because all the traffic is being buffered before it is inspected. So you need to choose adequately. You also need to check about the inspection method here, as we said, either you are in certificate inspection mode or deep inspection. We already explained this in another video. So talking about profile usage here, so you need to understand that each security profile is being created independently and assigned to firewall policies. So it means like if, for example, you are applying web filtering on multiple firewall policies. So what you need to know is you can apply the same security profile to multiple firewall policies. But if you need to do a specific security profile for each security or for each firewall policy, then you can create independent security profile for each of your firewall policy if the settings in the security profile will be different. So you can create multiple security profile and apply each of them to a specific security or firewall policy. Same here, we already explained about FortiGate integration, so you need to understand that all the security profile, they take their information, their latest information from the FortiGate servers. So that's why it is important to always have your FortiGate updated, because it is taking the information. Like antivirus, we need to get the latest information about the antiviruses, that the viruses that are actually, or the threat that are actually ongoing on the field of security. So those information are being recorded on the FortiGate server. So that's where all your security profiles are collecting information from the FortiGate servers. So either it being antivirus, web filtering, or any other security profile, they get their information, their latest information from the FortiGate servers. So now let's jump directly into the activity part and perform. Let's start with task one. So as we said in task one, we are going to do to try the following actions. So let's jump directly onto our FortiGate firewall and start with task one. So here is our FortiGate device. So here we are still using the same topology as last time, as the one we used in the previous video regarding SSL, zip, and certificate inspection. So we still have this our workstation here on Windows VMware workstation here. We'll be using this for our testing purposes. So here on my firewall policy, on my FortiGate firewall, what I'm going to do here is, let's go directly on FortiGate firewalls, or firewall policy, pardon. So I will edit this firewall policy. So it's the same policy that we have been using so far. So what I'm going to do here, I'll go with web filtering. So I will edit the default web filtering. So I can either edit the security profiles can be edited directly from the firewall policy here, or you can also directly go here under security profile and select the security profile that you want to edit, then edit the security profile. So here I'll be doing this directly from the firewall policy. So I will go with the web filter. I will just edit the default web filter here. So what we are going to do here, as we said, this task one is going to be about the actions. So here we can decide to apply one of the following actions here on these categories. So we can decide, for example, let's try and check anything like any website that is related to, okay, let's say education. So by default, education websites are allowed on the network. So what we are going to do is we are going to take education network, education category here. So instead of allow, we'll select here monitor. So remember, I explained the difference between allow and monitor is that when you decide by default when it's allowed, users can access the website and the traffic will not be recorded or logged on your FortiGate device. So you will not always have logs regarding access to websites that are allowed. But when you select monitor, user will still have access to the website, but the information will be recorded on your FortiGate device. So that's what we are going to try here. So I've set it to monitored. So this is the first action. So let's proceed. So I'll say okay. So as this is a security profile, you see that we have here this question mark, or this exclamation mark here, that is saying if you are selecting a security profile, then make sure you are also selecting a SSL inspection method here. So instead of no inspection, I'm going to take the default certificate inspection. Okay, so let's just apply this on my network, on the security, on the firewall policy. Then let's jump onto our test environment. So here on our test environment, if I go on a website like let's say udemy.com. So we go on a website like udemy.com. So we see we have access to this website. So same if we go to Coursera, I think coursera.org, something like that. Normally we should have access to these different websites. So now what we need to do is to check the logs. All we can do here is just simply right click on the firewall policy here, then go below and select show matching logs. So here just hit show matching logs. So from here I can filter sometimes depending on the amount of information that is being is actually ongoing on your FortiGate firewall. It can take some minutes for the log to display. So here, if I just check below, do I have any info on Udemy? Okay, so we see here directly here you see information about the udemy.org. So you see the information here about Udemy. So the traffic on this website is being allowed. You see, it is allowed and being filtered or being logged. So you have the access to the website and the information is being logged. So let's jump again on the firewall policy and proceed with the second action. So let's say here I'm going again on the firewall policy, the web filtering this time. Instead of monitoring the, where was that? Yeah, here. Instead of monitoring education website, now let's say for example I want to block. So here I'll instead say block. So now it's been any website that is under education category will be blocked. So I hit OK. Then I also hit OK here to save. So I'll jump again here on my test environment. So I'll just refresh this web page. Okay, so just refreshing. We see now that it is being the user will be redirected to the FortiGate default block portal. So web page is being blocked because of the category education. So the course, the URL falls under the education website, and by default is being blocked by my FortiGate device. So if I also check here on the Udemy, same error message I will have. So this is how the block action. This is how block action works. So now let's jump back again on the FortiGate firewall policy again. So as I said, I can edit it from here, or I can simply leave the firewall policy like this, and I go instead here on security profile, I check web filter, then I'll take the default one because it's the one that I've applied on my FortiGate firewall policy. So I can do from here. So instead here, instead of blocking this category, now we're going to take other action, which is warning. So now when you select warning, what is happening with warning is that when you select warning, it means when users are accessing the website under this category, they will be presented a warning message, but you can also customize for the frequency for which they will be getting the warning message. So for here, by default here, the warning interval is 0 hour, 5 minutes, and 0 seconds. It means each 5 minutes, the user will be prompted again with the warning message. So they will have the warning message, but they can still access the website. But each 5 minutes, they will receive a warning message. The warning message will come again after each 5 minutes. So you can customize this value here depending on what you really want on your network. So let's try and put like 1 minute. So I hit OK. It means after each 1 minute, the warning message will come again. So I hit OK. So as I modify the web filtering here, it will automatically apply on the firewall policy here, because on the firewall policy, you remember here the web filter profile that is selected here is the default one that we just modified. So we don't need to come here and update it again. So we'll just go here, we'll jump again on the test workstation. So here what we are going to do, we'll just refresh again. So when I hit refresh, if you notice well, you will see that here we have these two buttons that have just appeared here. You will see that if I check with the Coursera website here, when it was blocked, we do not have any other action to do rather than clicking here if you want to reevaluate the website. This link, for example, means if you think the website is not categorized in the web, it's not been classified in the proper category, then you can click this link here, then request for the website to be recategorized. So this is what is available by default on the blog portal. So if you hit here on click, normally here they will ask you, do you want to send, do you consider this to be in the wrong category? Click here and your FortiGate administrator, have blocked this category. So if you hit here to say it is a wrong category, like an email will be sent to your administrator to say, okay, can you record, or to not to your FortiGate administrator, but to the Fortinet web categorization people, so that they can update the category of this website if you think it is not being classified in the proper category. So here what you can do here under Udemy when the website is being provided a warning, is now that you can either proceed or you go back. So if you hit go back, you just go back like you were not even on that website anymore. So let's come back again. So here after either you are going back, or you're clicking go back, or you can click proceed. So when you click on proceed, you see you can still access the website with the warning. But as we configure the warning frequency to show after each 1 minute, so normally when the user will be navigating on this website, after 1 minute, he will be shown the warning message again. So that's how the warning works. So let's jump directly again and let's do the last action that is here. So the last action that we have here is about authenticate. So let's say, for example, if a user is accessing an education website, we would like the company users who are accessing this website to authenticate. Authenticate means you need to provide a login, like your username and password, before you access the website. So if we decide to select authenticate, what we need to do is with the warning interval plus, let's say plus the warning interval, you need to specify the user account that is going to be used to it will need to be used for authentication. So here you need to prepare a specific group. So let's say for here I'll be creating a group. I'll call this let's say test group. So this is my test group. This is a FortiGate test group. So I don't have any user in this group right now. So what I need to do, I also need to include users. So new member, let's I'll just create a test user. Yep, a test user. So I'm creating a local user. So these users can be either the users of your Active Directory, if you have already enabled LDAP on your FortiGate firewall, or you can simply create an individual user account, or you can create just the same user account and provide it to all your users. So during the authentication, you simply want to know who have accessed the website at which time, with which credentials were used to access the website. So I'm just, for the purpose of this video, I'm creating a user here. So simple user enable. Okay, just creating the user. So I'll create the user and I'll add the user in our test group. So this is the test group for accessing to authenticate. So hit OK. So here what we just do is what we selected the group from where we have users who are going to be authenticating to access an education website. So this is the group. I'll hit OK. Okay, so it means, as you see, education category authenticate means all the users who can access an education website will need to have credentials in this group. So for now, we have just one user there. So okay, authenticate, hit OK. So we are good here and can hit OK again to update. So now on our test environment, let's try again accessing a education website. So now you will see that we still have the block as we had in the warning action. When we took the warning action, this was the page that we had. But you will see now that when we hit proceed, we'll now be sent again to another page for authentication. So this is the difference you will have between the warning and the authenticated. So now, before I can access this website, it means I need to provide credentials that are in the specified group in the FortiGate firewall policy. So user here is going to provide the information, then click continue. Then if the information is good, then now I have access to this website. You see, so this is the difference between the different actions that we have here. So as we said, let me jump again here on web filtering default. So as we said, these are the different actions that you have. For example, when you are on the web filter, allow, monitor, block, warning, authenticate. So for the authentication, as we said, you can either select a group, a newly created group for which you have only individual users that you've created, or you can decide to add users who are part of your Active Directory. So you have users on your Active Directory that you've already added LDAP on your FortiGate device. So each user will use his own account, his own Active Directory account, to access the website. So guys, that's it so far. So we've seen some of the security profiles already. So because of the length of the video, we'll not proceed with all the security profile on this one. So most of the other security profile, we'll talk about them on the other activities. So during the other activity, we will see the other security profile action that we did not cover on this task one. So guys, let's meet in the next video to proceed with the other task.